I'm Christine Persichetti with this current news update. President Joe Biden paying a visit in the aftermath of Ida. The president surveying the deadly disaster zones in Queens and New Jersey. Current News' Emily Drooby reports from Flushing.
It's been almost a week since Ida brought extreme flooding to Queens. As the president prepared to visit the borough, this Flushing neighborhood still picking up the pieces of their shattered homes.
In 10 minutes, everything is a disaster. You know, everything I lost, everything, the water is coming too very fast.
That's a video of Marco Velasco swimming in chest-deep water just outside his home. The entire basement and first floor destroyed. His family narrowly escaping death on the second floor of their home, but some of his neighbors didn't.
Everything I lost.
Marco and his family are now staying at a hotel thanks to the Red Cross, but that ends soon.
But after that, I don't have nothing to go to live now in this situation, with this mail.
The Catholic man tells Currents News his homeowner's insurance doesn't cover this flooding damage. He has no idea what he's going to do, like many planning on relying on FEMA for aid.
We've been able to now provide aid to some of the families.
Some hope being brought to Marco and his neighbors through a presidential visit to New York and New Jersey. President Biden touring storm damage in both states, calling for federal aid in order to fortify infrastructure so it can withstand any future powerful storms.
We're at one of those inflection points where we either act or we're going to be in real trouble. Our kids are going to be in real trouble.
Over the weekend, the president approved disaster declarations in New York. That means affected people in Bronx, Kings, Queens, Richmond, and Westchester counties can receive federal funds. Mayor Bill de Blasio announcing additional relief and extending emergency shelter services. In Flushing, Emily Drooby, Currents News.
Governor Kathy Hochul says President Biden has put disaster relief for the state on the fast track. The storm caused an estimated $50 million in public infrastructure damage, while some 1,200 residences suffered damage. Homeowners can appeal directly to FEMA for funding. It includes temporary housing units, property repairs, counseling, unemployment assistance, and legal services. For information, log on to disasterassistance.gov. We've been telling you about churches in the diocese that suffered severe storm damage. Father Christopher O'Connor of St. Mary's Winfield in Woodside posted an update on Facebook. The fire department spent some 8 hours pumping the water out last week, but even after that, the lower church still had about 3 feet in it. Dozens of parishioners have been cleaning and sanitizing the property. Father O'Connor is asking everyone to say a prayer to the Holy Spirit as they continue this exhausting work. Pope Francis remembering the victims of hurricane and tropical storm Ida.
Signore accolga le anime dei defunti e sostenga quanti soffrono per questa calamità.
The Pope offering his prayers and condolences during his Sunday Angelus. Nearly 70 people were killed from Louisiana to New England. And on Monday, Pope Francis met with young refugees who recently fled Afghanistan. They were at the Vatican to see a documentary of the Holy Father's life. On Sunday, Pope Francis said he's praying that many countries take in these refugees. He also said it's essential for young Afghans to receive an education. Pope Francis did not call out the Taliban by name, but the extremist group has banned girls over 12 from attending school. Well, one teacher there is vowing that girls will continue to learn. For her safety, she does not want her present location disclosed. Pashtana Zalmay Khan Durrani is the executive director of Learn Afghanistan. She joins us now. And Pashtana, first describe to us the feeling among women in Afghanistan right now.
They're protesting, they're coming out, they're asking for what is their right. So that's a good sign. And at the same time that they are being able to demonstrate and the world is watching them. That's also, for me, I know among all these things, they shouldn't be doing that post 2 decades of working and everything, but at least they know they're educated and they're literated on their political and civil rights. That makes it a good sign for the future of Afghanistan.
Absolutely. And you've always been an outspoken advocate for women and girls there. But aren't you concerned for your own safety speaking out now?
Yes. See, in moments like these, you can either choose to side with the person who is oppressing you and get your way out, or you can choose the side which is right, and you have to make sure that you won't have to be morally conflicted about it. So I would rather have a good night's sleep rather than worrying about the fact that, it's my safety that's on the line.
All right, so in contrast to when they were last in power 20 years ago, the Taliban now has pledged to respect women's rights and allow them to work and attend school. Do you believe the extremist group has progressed?
I would believe them in a sense, like, when they opened universities, I want to welcome that. I just don't want to be the person who keeps on criticizing and starts finding problems and everything. But they still have a long way to earn our trust. And, one gesture couldn't do it. It's just the start.
All right, Pashtana Zalmay Khan Durrani from Learn Afghanistan. Thanks for being here with us. And we're praying for you and everything you're doing for the little girls there in Afghanistan.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Hundreds of women joining the largest demonstration against the Taliban Tuesday morning on the streets of Kabul. The protesters chanting slogans against neighboring Pakistan and expressing support for rebels in the last part of the country resisting Taliban rule. The Taliban responded with gunshots and the arrests of several journalists covering the demonstrations. A somber anniversary for our city and our country coming this Saturday, 20 years since the deadly 9/11 attacks. Catholics starting their vigil early with a walk to remember a chaplain who gave his life for his flock. Here's Emily Drooby.
Hundreds marching in silence, footsteps and color guard commands the only sounds. An eerie scene in such a loud city as this group honored the life of a Catholic priest and American hero, Father Michael Judge. Father James Hansen calls him a role model.
Father Michael Judge and what he did on September 11th is exactly what I think priests do. They lay their life down for their flock.
As an FDNY chaplain, on 9/11, Father Judge left St. Francis of Assisi Church in Manhattan for the Towers, providing comfort and prayers for New York's bravest. Sal Casano was with him.
We looked at each other and, a head nod to each other and said, it's going to be a tough day, Father Mike. I think we're going to need a lot more chaplains. But he just went about his business. He was going to shepherd all of us up to heaven one day. And that's what he was doing that day. He was taking care of his flock.
Father Judge gave his life for his flock after being injured at the site. His body was found and brought to St. Peter's Church. The Walk of Remembrance starts at St. Francis of Assisi near Penn Station with a Catholic Mass and the Rosary, explains walk organizer John Bates.
We say the Rosary, which is what Father Michael Judge was doing that morning in the Towers. We do that to honor him and, of course, honor Mary.
Then they walk almost 3 miles all the way down here to St. Peter's Church in the Financial District, making stops along the way, honoring the lives lost that day and also the lives lost to illnesses since. Marcher Bob Hickey was a lifelong friend. He still remembers finding out his friend was gone.
When I found out exactly how it happened, it was like I wasn't surprised. He's there helping people. He's there doing what he always did.
The walk started by another friend of Father Judge, NYPD Detective Stephen McDonald, paralyzed after being shot on the job, dying 30 years later from his injuries. No longer on this earth, but this, the memorial he created for his friend, is. In the Financial District, Emily Drooby, Currents News.
That is this Currents News update. The newscast will be back to its full length this fall when we move to our new studio. I'm Christine Persichetti. Thank you for joining us because we are putting your faith in the news.